What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Bleacher Report. I'm your host, TD from TD PHINS TALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Here we are. The Dolphins defeat the Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen. This was a massive win for the Dolphins. And listen, let's break it down like this today. We all know that we're down. We know that the Dolphins have disappointed us this season so far. But what I will tell you is after parting ways with Chris Greer, this was actually a nice way to respond. This was a nice way to respond. I think the team gets to play without pressure now. I think everybody's doing the very best they can for their futures. And the Dolphins came and they showed up and showed out. Let's also say this, man. The defense, in my opinion, first off, I'll just go straight to it. The defense won the game and A-Chain closed it. The defense won the game. They held the Buffalo Bills. If you look at the final score, wow. If you hold the Buffalo Bills to what you held the Buffalo Bills to, that's impressive. Like literally. Nobody would have thought that the Dolphins would have only given up 13 points. And let's be honest, six of those points were garbage time. I mean, if we're going to be honest, 6 of those points were garbage time. The defense absolutely played lights out today. Multiple turnover forces. Jack Jones punched out 2 fumbles. This was a huge win for the Miami Dolphins because your defense comes alive. Weaver gets the crew. And to be honest with you, the defense has been playing well for 3 weeks. I know we lost last week. It was pretty bad. But the defense actually, in my opinion, kind of showed up 3 weeks in a row with some misfortune last week. The offense, I'm going to be quite honest with you, I still have major concerns, but I love in that second half that A-Chain closed it out for us. And the reason why I know some people will say, come on, man, we put up 30 points. What do you mean you're concerned about the offense? The offense scored all 30. Yeah, but our offense, for the most part, I feel like we only scored on the big play. Everything outside of that was kind of shut down, at least in the second half. And that's why I say A-Chain closed it. It was negative yardage, touchdown, 40, 50, 60 yards, whatever it may have been. So the offense is still a concern. Lucky us, we ran into the Buffalo Bills, who have had a rough time all season stopping the run, and we closed on that at the end of the game. When a game has you conditioned where you're dominating and you still don't feel safe, that's a bad look on the team. But overall, the Dolphins did get it done. Congratulations to the defense. They balled out today. Congratulations to A-Chain. Did his thing. And congratulations to first half Tua and Waddle. I'll say that. I just want to try to spread some love here. Congratulations to the first half version of Tua and Waddle, who connected multiple times on some big plays. Okay? That's what it came down to. Now, if we're going to be honest, the reality here is, man, the Buffalo Bills just had a terrible day. Nothing went their way. They weren't disciplined. They got many penalties. They turned the ball over so many times. Every time they drove all the way down the field, they turned the ball over. Josh Allen throwing picks, Josh Allen fumbling, Cook fumble. Just a bad day for Buffalo that they definitely wish they had back and they could take back. But they can't. They can't. But I've been telling people Buffalo is not as good as people think they are. They've just ran into an easy schedule. Now, I know people are going to say, yeah, but they beat the Chiefs. Tell me when they haven't in the regular season. Tell me when Buffalo hasn't beat the Chiefs in the regular season. They're not as good as people think. Neither are the Chiefs, in my opinion, this year. But we'll see. But the Patriots have taken over this division now. They're 8-2, big win against the Bucs. So the Dolphins getting our third win was very important. But let me say this. The reason why I picked the Dolphins to win this game, I know people are going to be like, oh, you called this. Yeah, I called it. But it wasn't so much out of X's and O's that I called us winning this game. I called us to win the game because it would be so Miami Dolphins. This is what we do. When you feel like all hope is lost, they just give you something out of the blue to say, hold on now. And That's exactly what's about to happen. That's the frame we're in right now. We're in hold up now frame. Okay. And what that means is the Dolphins are 3-7, and they are about to go beat the Commanders overseas next week, which will have them 4-7. And when they come back, they're going to beat the Saints. I really believe it. They'll be 5-7. And it's going to make everybody say, can we go 5-0? Can we get some luck if certain teams lose? Can we go 4-1? That's what it's going to make us do. That's exactly what is going to happen. I'm telling you now, I'm calling it now. The Dolphins will beat the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, and they will beat the Saints. And I think the Saints won today, by the way, against Carolina, which means that they're getting a little better too, potentially. But I am telling you, mark my words here, right now. The Dolphins will beat the Commanders, and they will beat the Saints. We will be 5-7. And when we go 5-7, we're going to look up and say to ourselves, is it possible? And when you look at the last 5 games, this is what you have. You got the Jets, 6-7. You got the Steelers on the road. That's tough. You got the Bengals after that. And at that point, the Bengals will give up. That's 7 wins. And you got the Bucs and the Patriots. It's going to come down to Pittsburgh, Bucs, Patriots. Can the Dolphins beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road? Can the Dolphins beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home? Or can they beat the New England Patriots on the road at the end of the season? The Dolphins are going to play to where we feel like we have a chance. I truly believe it. That's exactly what's going to happen. So we're going to take it 1 week at a time, and we're going to see where this takes us. But today, I will say this was a quality win for the Dolphins. This is one of those rare quality wins. We never beat teams above 500 that are in real contention for the playoffs. We never do this, and we just did it today. When the team is free, they're not stressed. Defense playing lights out. They're getting turnovers. Offense doing enough. Nobody saw this coming. I did, because this is what the Miami Dolphins do. So I'm going to be honest with you. When we win these next 3 games against the Commanders, Saints, and Jets, and we're 6-7, even I'll be like, man, can we? And we'll see from there, man. We got a lot of people in the chat weighing in on this one. The defense played lights out today. Yes, they did. Miami screwed up everything. That's for the people that feel like we should be tanking for a quarterback or a good draft pick. This is why I try to prepare you all. This is what the Dolphins do. Okay. People are saying, TD, you did call it. Yeah, I did call it, but we all should be calling it. This is what the Dolphins do. And now I believe that we might actually rattle off 3 wins. And we're going to look at it like we're not out of it. We're not dead in the water. That's exactly what's going to happen. Okay. So we'll just take it 1 week at a time and see where we go from there. But I'm going to say this. I'm excited about this win. And I'm going to be, because it's the Buffalo Bills. Tired of them owning us. What we did today against Buffalo broke all kind of molds. It had been over like maybe 10 years since they've been beat that bad by a division opponent. Plus, they got beat by the division opponent, which we struggled doing a lot. Big win for the Dolphins, okay? Big win for the Dolphins. And we'll take it. We'll take it at the end of the day. All right, y'all. Listen, A-Chain, Waddle, we're on the brink of getting traded this week. A-Chain stock went up. Waddle stock went up. I'm going to say something now before we get out of here that I want y'all to think about, and I know it's going to frustrate some people, but this is a cold, hard reality. This is going to be the A-Chain and Waddle show for the rest of the year. And we got some really good trade offers for them at the deadline, in which we turned down because they were in division and stuff like that. A-Chain, I think we were offered a second, which means we probably won a first. And today he played like he can get a first. And Waddle, we were offered a first and a third. And today he played like we can get a first and a second. So their stocks are going up even more, especially after what we just did to Buffalo. Here's the bombshell. Since they're the only weapons we have on this team, they're going to go off for the rest of the season. And their stock is going to be higher. Both of those guys may still actually be traded in the offseason or in the draft. I truly believe it. We were listening to those offers for a reason. We were ready to close some of those deals. The problem was division opponent and for small little stipulations. Small little stipulations. Both of them may actually be gone at the not at the deadline, but when the season is over or during the draft. I still believe Waddle or A-Chain will be traded. The only thing right now is we may be able to get their stock up to get even more capital as a result of the trades. So we'll look out for it. We'll go through free agency. Whatever team misses out, they'll probably send some major assets to Miami to bring in one. And it might even be after the draft. Whoever misses on a receiver or whatever it may be, it might be after the draft. But I think both of those guys are gone. Now, I know people are like, why would we get rid of our best player? Because I keep trying to explain this to people. Same thing I said about Xavier Howard 5 years ago. I said, Xavier Howard's in his prime. We're about to rebuild. Why? We want to hold on to him just so we can waste his prime. And then whenever we're ready to compete, he's not on the roster anyway. And sure enough, everybody said, you're crazy. You got to keep your best players. And what did we do with Xavier Howard? We wasted those next 2 years of his prime. Then we moved on. And he wasn't even there whenever we were ready to compete. Over the last 3 years, he wasn't even here. We can't keep making that mistake. Dolphin fans all around the world, we need to come to the realization that 2026 and 2027, we are not in a state to where we are saying to ourselves, we are trying to compete for a Super Bowl. In 2026 and 2027, that is not the state we're in. So in 2028, who is A-Chain going to be? Is he going to be the same explosive back in 2028 after the Dolphins run him through the ground for the next 2.5 years? Is Waddle going to be this same explosive weapon in 2028 after the Dolphins run him through the ground for the next 2.5 years? In 2028, when you're starting to rebuild it all and you're actually, have a good, a better roster now, are those guys going to be the same version of players? Because what you don't want to get caught up in doing is extending it out that long. And then all of a sudden, they're the reason that we're losing because they're not showing up. They're a shell of themselves. And then when we look to replace them, getting no assets later on, now we replace them and then another area is hurting again. You can't do that. You need to hoard up on your draft picks as soon as you possibly can in the offseason and understand the reality of where we are as a team. The thing you should be happy about as a Dolphin fan, that in this process, those guys are going out there and improving their stock every game. It will be the Waddle and A-Chain show, and their stocks will rise every week from this point out. And when we end the season, they will be big-time targets for trade possibilities, okay? That's my thought on it. Again, some people will say, no, you're wrong. You got to keep them. In 2028, A-Chain's going to be leading us to a Super Bowl. Waddle's going to be, hey, maybe. But statistically, and the odds does not support that or suggest that. It just doesn't. It doesn't. So that's all on the new general manager. It's going to be his decision. But good win by the Dolphins. What am I watching the Dolphins for the rest of the year? Whose stock is improving and what young players are starting to come on. What young players are starting to blossom. I got to go back and watch the film and say, hey, how did Jonah do today? Hey, how did Kenneth Grant do today? I didn't really hear their name much. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's really watching these young players. Who can we move forward with for the future and say, we got a piece here, we got a piece there. But good win by the Dolphins, beating a division opponent, making life rough for them, making life tough for them. And the Bills fans, they are sick right now. And nothing should make a Dolphin fan feel better. I love that the Bills are sick right now. I love it. Okay? All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Bleacher Report. Again, this is your post-game coverage. Love you all. Appreciate you all. If you want to check me out on my YouTube channel, TD PHINS TALK, make sure you come hang out with me. I'm live all the time. This week, we got a big week over there. We're going to be talking about Patrick Paul. We're going to talk about the future of Tua, the future of McDaniel, the future general manager, Devin A-Chain's future, Waddle's future, roster evaluation, the young core, deep dive, salary cap situation, our immediate plans, and is Stephen Ross going to be forcing, Mike McDaniel on the general manager? We're going to talk about it all this week on TD PHINS Talk. Make sure you come check me out and make sure you follow here on Bleacher Report as well. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Fins up no matter what. We get a dominating blowout win against Buffalo today. That's huge. That's beautiful. And hey, let's just keep on stacking up these wins one by one. One by one. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Y'all take care and fins up no matter what. We're down, but we're up. We're up, okay? Keep your head up. Let's keep winning. Peace. I'm out.